And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to the coverage of the Best of Fighter Championship, where we have just witnessed the fight of what may be the decade. It was an upsetting loss as five-time champion Will Notman was defeated and dethroned by up-and-coming boxer Mike Rowe. As you know, 15 years ago, the BOF lifted all bans and regulations against height, weight, and fighting style. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, since then, it has been a spectacle here at Madison Square Garden. We are standing outside the dressing room of Will Notman right now, hoping to get a few words about his devastating loss. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that Will Notman has been the champion for the past 5 years and was hoping to make tonight's victory year number 6. Here he is right now. Will, you have a few words to say to the audience about your loss tonight?
Yes, I have a few words to express, actually. Where on earth do you find these competitors? In all my years of fighting for the BOF, I have never been so humiliated and disrespected in a fight.
Surely your loss has affected you dramatically. Is there anything that you think you could have done differently tonight?
You mean win, for instance? Surely you must be joking. Look at the scenario, for Christ's sakes. Here I am in the ring with an opponent with someone the size of an ant.
Well, actually, he's the size of the penny. But of course you know that the BOF states that.
I know what the bloody rules say. Where on earth did you find this abomination?
He says he's from Australia. But let's get to the fight. What complications did you have going into the bout, and what do you think you could have done while you were fighting the tiny Tasmanian?
Stepping up to what? There was nothing I could do short of taking a magnifying glass. And look at me, I wouldn't have stood a chance against him. The fight was rigged, I tell you. I could barely see the man. Tell me, how does sword fighting compare when your opponent is literally ground level? I could not lunge, I could not parry, nor strike the man. If anything, I was hacking at the dirt for the full round. Even fighting dirty, there was nothing I could do.
Speaking of the full round, were you aware at all that you could have been knocked out in the first?
I wasn't even aware that I was going to be fighting in the air. How could I have possibly known? After 5 different fighters, this is what I've succumbed to. The last championship was with a sumo wrestler, for crying out loud. I will return next year to reclaim what's rightfully mine. This is an obscene interview if I've ever heard one. You gentlemen have a pleasant evening. Enjoy the festivities.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Upsetting words from an upset man. The last fight he's talking about, of course, was against Nata Vettori in 2034's championship that resulted in a TKO. Now, that victory is just a fleeting memory. So right now, we are standing outside of Mike Rowe's room, hoping to get some words from him for an interview. Now, remember, just as we had to in the fight, we were going to have to really zoom in to get this interview with Mike. But until then, we're going to go ahead and show you a replay of the match that happened tonight. Looking at the replay, just see how Notman struggles to even get a lick on Rowe. Just look as he pokes and prods aimlessly before throwing down his sword and swinging and stomping madly. Now for the finishing blow, look how Rowe doesn't even take a single swing at Notman, with the final blow self-inflicted on Notman himself. And speaking of victors, here's 2035's BOF champion of the world, Mike Rowe! Oh, sorry. Mike, how are you?
Oh, good day, mate. You here for the party? You're gonna love it. Oh, I apologize, mate. It's been a pretty big day and about 3 drops of champagne in right now. So, I'm guessing after all the big fight and everything, you want a few words for the camera, huh? Aye, Mum. So, what is it you want to know, mate?
Well, you seem to be doing great. Congratulations on the well-deserved win. Were there any tactics that helped you have an advantage over Notman tonight?
You mean that guy? Ah, it was all in a day's work. Have you seen him? All he needs is a peg leg, and then look at him. Peg leg, knife, and an eye patch, and be a pirate.
Well, surely you must have gone in knowing you were at a disadvantage.
The only disadvantage was on his behalf. I was right at home.
Either way, what do you have to say about the knockout punch?
Oh yeah, the freebie.
All I had to do was bounce around and land on his forehead. He's the one who sent himself to dreamland. Gonna be hard to look cool after that, eh?
On one final note, do you have any words for your opponent tonight?
I could scrounge up something. Tough luck, kid, but swashbuckling's outdated. Tough luck. See you around. Or not.
So what are your plans now, champ?
I might keep the party going tonight, take a long holiday, wear this belt wherever I go. Here, you want to hold it? Yeah, there.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, viewers. One suffering in defeat and the other elated in victory. That's all we have time for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you again for tuning in to tonight's coverage of the Best of Fighters Championship. I'm Joe Schmo.